Good morning and sliding into afternoon. Judy Allen here, San Antonio, Texas, with Adventurous Stamping, and we're going to keep it simple or step it up. That's what we're all about today. So we're using the Hippest Hippo, so this is the last chance to get it. Celebration ends August 31st, and it is a freebie, both the stamp and the die. So if you miss out and you don't get it by then, it's gone. Alright, so with that, let's go down the hands and let me show you these cute little items we're going to make for this set. Alright, let's do this. So here is the stamp set and the die, both free with Celebration right now. Like I said, once it's gone, it's over. So you'll see where I'll use some of the dies. And I just want to show you what they look like before, so you see what they look like. Okay, so first one we're going to do, like we always do, we're going to start off with our 3x3. And I already have some of my bow already made. So we're just going to fold this in half. So this one, we always start off simple, right? Whether it's with paper, stamping, whatever. And today it's mainly going to be stamping. We can add a couple little embellishments with it. The one I wanted to use, this one right here with a flower. And we're going to be using watercolor pencils. And you know, it's just a nice way to do some watercoloring, that you can control the way you do it. So we're just going to stamp this here. And I'm just going to make this simple, alright? Without getting ink all over me. Okay. By simple, all we have to do is sit there and put right. We're going to put a message in there. And I'm going to put on here, love you a ton. That's just a very simple little message that we can put on here. I'm actually just going to do it in a different color, right? Because we just got simple stamping going on, and we can add color to the hippo if we want to. I'm going to first get the flower for sure and the stem colored, and we're going to do it with water pencils as soon as I get this off. Okay. Alright, so in this, oh, I just did my finger in there. Okay, that's alright. A blue finger, at least it's a color I really like. I'd rather have blue than a black finger. At least I can say I've been doing that with one of my favorite colors. It's better than me, like I did the other day, and I had iced a cake pop, and the thing dropped right in my hand, and I had a blue hand because I was doing blue icing. Really candy, but anyway. Okay, so love you a ton. It's just a very simple little message. It didn't take much there, and we stamped that. So I'm just going to color this here, and I wanted to do a bow, right? And we can color more too if we want to. So with this one here, I do not have a watercolor pencil for the blue that I wanted to use here that I just got over my fingers. So I'm going to go ahead and use this blender pen and pick up the color I just got off, and I'm going to color in my flower. And then I'm just going to color in the greenery pencils on the leaf itself and stem. And you'll just see how the difference is. It's just a little bit different, right? The colors should be about the same because they always are the same. I just make sure my blender pens, there ain't any more ink on it because I'll use that in a minute again. Let me go ahead and close this before I hand it with a hand in there. Alright, so with the pencil is really nice because you can just come in here. I'm just going to color it. I don't have to color the whole thing through if I don't want to. And I'm just going to come down on this stem. So if you're out there, let me know. Okay, because we do giveaways. Let me see what I got going on here a second. Hello, Jennifer. So yes, if I can, I'll try to comment. Now the same thing I just did with the ink, but this time I'm going to use a blender pen. I'm just going to use it on top of what I just colored with a watercolor pencil. Okay, so it gives it that watercolor look when you get through with it. Alright, so it says I love you a ton, and I've got my little bow to put on top. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead. I wasn't sure if I was going to do this or not, but I'm going to go ahead. I want to go ahead and color the hippo. Alright? So same thing here. We're not going to color a bunch of hippos today. I allowed for me to color 2 hippos, okay? And that is it. And I'm not going to really worry about this because you're going to see when I get through using the blender pen, it's going to blend all those lines in together. I just sort of try to make sure I just get all my color in there, right? That's all I'm trying to do is just get my color in so I have something to work with. And it's a nice thing because I already did my stem and everything else. And it doesn't really matter, right? Because this isn't going to mess it up. Now the only thing on all my hippos today, because I'm thinking of my princesses today, is I've been debating whether to color those toenails a color or to just use some Wink of Stella to give them a little sparkle or what. So you tell me what you think and I will see about doing it. I do have some other watercolor pencils out here with me so I can do different colors. But you let me know. It's always the debate as we go and do some other ones here shortly. They're going to get the same thing. It's whether are we going to give them painted toenails or are we just going to give them like a clear polish on them with a Wink of Stella or what, right? It's all about what do you want to do. It's about choices. We have choices. We have choices. So I always make sure I have choices, whether it's for myself, for my grandkids, or for you, right? I like creating sometimes what you guys like. But see, this all I have to do is I have just simply colored that in. And you can see, just gives it that watercolor look with this. Oh, some color and sparkles. Hello, Ashley. Good afternoon. Yes, okay, we will do some color with sparkles. All right, Jennifer, that is what we'll do. Let me get this belly colored first. And what I did with it is I'm doing, just like I did a while ago, I dip the edge of mine in here. This is petal pink. And it can seem a little heavy when you do it, but you know what? You can also, just like we do with Stampin' Off, you can do the same thing here. That might not be enough. Let me just close it though. So if it's not enough, I'm trying to see if I can see my corner now. Let's see here. There it is. So I can see what my color is going to look like, right? So if I think my color is too dark, then just get some of it off, then start coloring from here. Because all I'm doing is just trying to give like a light little color here, right? I'm not trying to give them like a chartreuse pink stomach or anything. I could have used a different color of gray too, or a lighter gray. I didn't. I just want to do a little bit different color. Okay, so all I did is I just barely touched it. I just stamp off there just to give a little color. Alright? So let me clean that off. I just clean things off, even if I'm going to dip it again in a minute, because it just saves me from dropping the block and messing this up and so forth and so on. Because I guarantee you, I know this because I've done it. I've managed to drop, in fact, when I was just doing an outline, I accidentally dropped the black ink pad right across what I was creating. And that was very special, and I'm glad it was just a prototype drawing out type thing that I was doing. But if it had been my final product, I would have had like such an opportunity to create or just get rid of it, right? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get my bow on here because I want my bow on here. I mess it up. Okay, got my bow right there. I want to be sure she had a bow on her head. Get a blue flower. Bow may be too big. We'll see. I wanted a bow, right? Because I don't know about you, but we have all those little special people in our lives, and I'm my little special peeps. Even when they're born, their mothers put these giant bows on their head, right? I think it's to cover up the fact they don't have any hair. I'm not sure. But they still look stinking cute, so mine's going to look stinking cute too. If I want to, I can move it over just a little. Just a tad, really. If I can. Okay, I just want to see the ears, right? Because there's ears. We got some ears going on here. Alright, so I got my bow. I got that there. And so people said they wanted some color with sparkles on those toes. So let's see what color we got here. I have choices here. I am going to go with... What color are you? What color are you? Let's see what this one's here. Oh, let's go with this. Oh yeah, Melon Mambo. That looks a little on the bright side. If you'll be able to see these nails. So let's get some Melon Mambo on here. Again, you don't have to get it perfectly in there. So you using the blending pen, I'll sit there and get those colors filled in there. Right? It's just like coloring with a regular coloring pencil and crayons, except we're using a watercolor pencil that we can turn around and use a blender pen to make it look like watercolor. Alright, and she wanted some sparkle. And let's see where our Winka Stella is. Oh yeah, there's that Winka Stella. So yeah, we're going to put some sparkle on those nails. More sparkle than I normally get on my nails if I do them. Boop, boop. Right? Alright, so there we do. We have a cute little card. Love you a ton, and I know what peak that's going to. Alright, let's go on to card number 2. Now this is stepped up, and it may seem like it's stepped up a lot, but it's not compared to the last card, okay? So, let me get a few things out of here. Just dropped them. Okay. Let me fold this in half. This is nothing more than our 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Cut it 5.5 to give us our card. Now I made this about, I think last week or so. I think it was last week I did this. I showed you how to use the cutting tool to cut out the center here, and this was what was left over. And I'm going to use this today. Alright? And I'm going to go ahead and put it up on dimensionals because I already know what I'm going to do, right? And I want to get this up out of the way so I can see better what I'm doing, and you can see better what I'm doing. And I went ahead and glued these on, so you didn't have to, you've seen me glue these on. These are just the twigs. I've used them on a number of occasions. I love them. I can always find something to put them on, right? At first, when I got them, I thought, what in the world are you going to use those on? It's like, you know you'll use them, but it's like, on what? Well, now it's like, what would I not use them on, right? And I'm just putting one in the center because these twigs are a little bit heavy. You can't see it and tell it from there, but they are. And I might even have to put one on the side here. It depends how much I will. It's sagging. So the reason why it's sagging is just from the weight of those. So I'm just going to put some dimensionals here because I want the height, right? Okay. Get this off for you. Actually, it's so good to see you. Yep. So we're making 3 cards, right? So I did prep some of this, right? So in order to maybe get this all done in about 30 minutes, you have to do some prepping. It's sort of like cooking. You know, if you're going to have dinner and you say, well, I can get it done in 30 minutes or whatever, and you're cooking like a 4-course meal or something. Well, you know you have to prep ahead of time, right? That's the only way you can make it happen. Okay. So I went ahead, so this was leftovers, right? This here was leftovers, and I just added this in advance for you. Okay, so I actually have already die cut 3 of the hippos. And I'm going to put them right in here like this. And yes, I have a peep that's a dancer. I have another peep that does ballerina. And then, yep, that covers it pretty much. Alright, so these 2 are already done. So as you can see, I'm going to put all 3 of them in here. So same thing here. Now some people ask, do you color it before you do it or afterwards? Well, you know, I can do it both ways. I mean, it's all a personal preference of what you like. For me, I can just as easily come in here and color. It's not going to matter because this all dries very quickly, right? It's not like we're dealing with ink that we have to sit up there and like blow it dry and let it wait or anything else. I don't have to do that, right? I'm just using some pencils. You can see I'm not really worrying how I really sort of do it because I know I'm going to fill it in with that pen, the blender pen, when I add the blender pen. I'd already done the skirt. At first I wasn't sure if I was going to do the skirt or not, but I'd already done it. You know, it's one of those things I'd already started coloring without even thinking. And it was like, oh, I'm supposed to save this. So that's what you got there, is I'd already started coloring without even thinking. That just shows you how I do with coloring. Then I just, like we said, just like we did a while ago, I'm just coming with my blender pen and see how easy I can just come in here and blend this all up. And again, you got that watercolor look. You don't have to worry about leaving any kind of strokes or whatever like you would do with if you did just regular pencils or crayons, right? You sort of have to watch how you color or smooth it out and everything. So I don't have to do that. The watercolor pencils does that for me. Okay, and then again I just have to do the stomach area. Now one thing you could do differently that I didn't do is, I guess if I was dealing with a person in my family that is very technical, they would tell me technically that the belly goes right below the ruffle, okay? And technically they are most probably right, and I just really don't care, right? Because I'm coloring the way I want to color and how I want it to look. So there you go. So if you're a technical person, that might bother you, but it doesn't bother me because I don't get that technical when I color. But you know, we all have some of those family members that are really technical people, and they're technical about everything, and that's good, right? But we don't have to really be that technical here. It's all about having fun, and I enjoy coloring, and I enjoy doing what we're doing right now. I have to worry about being technical and everything else. I don't know that I would do it. Okay, now I can add Wink of Stella in a minute. I don't have to do it right now. Make sure I got my color off. Okay, did. Alright, so it's just a matter of positioning these. So I've actually already in advance, I see that one's a little bit darker, but that's okay, right? We all have different skin color variations and everything else, so it doesn't matter. So for me, these are going to tuck in a little bit. So I'm actually going to just sit up here, and I'm going to actually glue two of these down. I shouldn't say glue, I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal here. Put two of them down. But you know, it's all about spacing, right? And you'll see that in just a minute. And the reason it's all about spacing is because the fact that I'm going to have to do this one here, and I'm going to do this up here in the middle. And I'm just going to do this on this side. So I'm just trying to make it look right. I'm trying not to cover their faces, but I had to go ahead and stamp these and color them and sit up there and all because... and put this down because I'm going to put this up on dimensionals, right? So it's one of those things is you're going to be able to see it no matter what when I give this card to somebody. So then all I'm going to do is put this one up on dimensionals, and I'm actually going to use the smaller dimensionals. Let's see how that's going to look for us. We'll do our test like we normally do. Let me find my small dimensionals. So if I do the small dimensionals, this is where this is going to look. So that's fine for me because as long as I have some height is what I want over the other ones. Because I'm going to have a hat. Now this dice that came with this does have these little hats that come out like this, which is fine. And we're going to see if we're going to use them on the two that I've already placed down. This one here, I actually made a special hat. I actually used the Awesome Otters stamp set to make the hat because I was going to put jewels on it. Since this is going to be the center of the one here. Let's see if I can move it over just a little bit more. I don't mind if it covers the hand or the ear, but I'm just trying to... we might have to move it up a little bit, alright? Here's what I did. This is actually for the Awesome Otter, and what I did is I've already put some bling on it. And then I took this ribbon here, and I just squished it up, used glue dots to hold it down, and I'm just going to have it where it's going to sit right here. But I'm going to have a dimensional underneath, right? So we might have to trim it because it's going to be in the other person's face. Or I can take this here and I can use my spatula too. Let me use my spatula. I'll use my spatula to help get this up a little bit here. I'm just scooping it up underneath. Okay, so I can actually sort of bring this up a little bit too, right? Let me just bring it up just a little bit. So yes, it's all about choices, right? It's whatever you want to do. I'll bring it up just a little bit because that way when I put the hat on here, it won't quite be in the face, but I can also move it too as well, right? So this one I'm actually going to put a larger dimensional so that it'll have a little bit more height. And then I don't need See right here, I don't have to put that down with tape, but I am going to have a larger dimensional so it's going to stay up, right? And I might have to trim that down a little bit more, but I'm definitely going to trim it right here. And I actually could have used the side of the foam there, but I didn't think about that at the time. Okay, but I can also use a little bit of this foam here at the top. That'll also help hold this down, and I'll just trim some extra off, right? So I'm just going to put that there, and I'm just going to trim it off so it's not seen, right? So there you go. So I have a little bit of dimensional there that's going to help hold this up, and it's going to help hold the ribbon down as well. People say I use this ribbon a lot. I do. I like this ribbon. I liked it last year when it first came out, and I like it now too. Alright, so see, I have my ballerina right there, and she's got her, I can trim it off just a little bit. It doesn't need to be trimmed off a lot, just enough, right? Just so we have our little princess ballerina right there, our princess dancer. And then I have these little hats right here that I made. And you can't see it, but it's got just a little bit of a design on it. Just a teeny tiny bit of design. And I can just put it like right here, right? So they can each have their own little tiara if you want to. And this one is really tiny. I'm just going to reach over here and put a little tearing tape on it. This is already flat, right? So what I'm doing is I'm just tucking it right there. Hers is pink, and this last one, let me find my last little hat here. I got one more. And I've already put the bling, right? So I've already put the bling on the hat. So if you want to know what bling I used the iridescent one that looks whatever color you put it on, right? I really like that it does that, because then I don't have to worry about it. And this one's just a matter, I can tuck it in underneath here. And so then all we have left is to put on here is our tag with our message. Okay? So I'm going to put here, we're going to stamp on here, you're always on point. And I actually have a tag that I did for this. And we might have to size it down, but that's okay. As soon as I find it when it dumped out where it went. Sort of a triangular one, but it fits just perfect. So see, it's just a little big, right, to go down the end down here. But all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it off, all right? That's all I'm going to do. And I hadn't decided, I'm just going to cut it straight across. I'm just going to use my scissors. And it'll be straight enough, right? But I wanted at least the point parts, okay? So I can see that I didn't get it quite straight, and that's okay. You know, just take my scissors back again. It really annoys me. I'll get my cutter out, but I really didn't want to have to do that. And I was just going to do it like that, because you're always on point. Whoop, whoop, right? Got those pointy toes ready for dancing. Neither one of them are twirling in the air or anything, but hey, they'll get there. They'll get there. So I'm going to I can put this up on dimensionals, and let me go ahead and do that. I'm just going to use the smaller dimensionals. Let's see, I just had them. That's the large ones. Had to look and see what I had there. So I'm just going to use that to put that up there to give it a little height, right? You can see I was doing something on the back side of this, but nobody will know because it's going to be down. I'm not sure, I just did that, and I'm not sure that one's really going to be there because that one's too high. But it's okay. At least it'll give me the height, right? It's not going to wobble. That's the main thing. And then I may sit up here, and I may look like I might take a sponge or something and go around the edges here, just to give it a little bit of extra color, right? Or I can put some bling or both. So I've got this here, so I'm not going to have to worry about it going down, right? It's just right there. So let's go ahead and give it a little bit of bling, just like we did right there on top. And I think that'll complete it. You know, if we want to sit there and add more color, we can. That's not an issue. It is an issue as to what happened to my, there they are, split out. So see, it's just, like you said, it's just a matter of adding some bling. Let me use the other end here. Adding a little bit of bling here. And you know, we can add bling on the side here, but we've already got bling, right? I'll put it right there on point, because you're always on point. Alright, so there we go. There is card number 2. And if I have to, I might have to come back through and put a large dimensional on that one. But that's okay. We'll be okay for the moment. Alright, so that's card number 2. There you go. We already know which princesses these are going to go to. Alright, the last card where we really step it up. This has got a lot of pieces to it, and it was all die cut. And then we got layers, right? So when we step up, we usually have layers. We usually have a bunch of extra stuff. So I got a lot of extra stuff here. So I wasn't sure how many hearts or how much grass I wanted to use, because we've got rain now. So I'm really thinking about green grass coming. And we're just going to sort of push this all to the side a second as we go ahead and get our layers up. We'll save the white to last. And then we'll just go ahead and get these layers down. As you can see, I've got beautiful paper behind this. So in order to get what I wanted, I had to use beautiful paper on one side. It wasn't going to be shown. You know, and that's just the way it is. You just bothers you, just close your eyes or something, right? But if I want the stripes, which I do, because today it's raining, right? I just want it nice and cheerful. And I'm going to put this on dimensional. That way it's going to really stand out next to the green. And yes, it's beautiful paper here too. And yes, we're going to flip it over and use the other side. It's really, right, it's about having fun. And if you know somebody, you're going to give it to. If you don't, you know what? Whoever gets it, it'll be the right card at the right moment at the right time. You'd be amazed when I've given somebody a card and it was like spot on for them for that day. And you're going like, go figure. But that's just the way it works. It's just the way it works. You know, sometimes you have something you can give to somebody you've already got in mind, right? So, I'm going to go ahead and put this here. Now, this one here, we're going to go ahead and stamp. So I'm just going to set this aside because now I've got a lot of little pieces here that I've stamped, die cut out, that I just need to stamp the middle of this. And we're going to change stamps here. So I've made sure, as we've done this today, we're using practically everything in here, just so you can see the different things that you can do. This next one's really, really cute, and I like it. I like them all, really. As my peep said, she's aww. Yeah, that's what sort of makes your day. It's all about those peeps that do stuff like that. Alright, so I already know this is going to go inside of here, right? So it sort of gives me an idea where I'm going to tee this up in the center. I can put some more stuff here too, but you know, we got to get this stamped, and then I'll have to get it colored, right? Okay, so that's the main thing. And pretty much that is all the stamping we're doing here, other than coloring, right? Using our watercolor pencils and some ink there to finish off. Okay, so I don't have to color everything, right? Because I'm actually going to put this tub right about here. And I'm just going to put it down with tape. So I don't really have to color all of the hippo, right? Just the part that's going to show. I'm getting out of coloring. Yes, I am. I think this is really cute. This really reminds me of when we had some of our special peeps here, and we sat up there and people were outside playing in a, what was that? It was, let me think. Anyway, it's one of those splash pads, that's what it was. So we didn't have this that they were playing in, but they had a little splash pad. But it reminds me of it, right? Because it held about, gosh, I would say about 2 to 3 inches of water, even though it was a splash pad. So, I mean, even I could have sat down in it and got myself wet and felt, you know, pretty reasonable. And I'm okay with this. So you're looking at this umbrella here going, what's going on with that? Well, it's okay, because it's going to cross over right over here. All right? So I personally do not have a problem with that at all. Okay. So I'm setting this as the tag I have planned on using. And since we had rain and all, I decided to add some greenery, because I now believe we're going to have green grass. So this is one thing. This came with it. It's a lifesaver. like one of those life rings there. And I went ahead and brought it because I thought I'd like to do it there and just put a heart in the middle of it, right? Because it's fun. It's all about having fun, right? Okay, so I can put a heart there. Let me get just a little bit of liquid glue is all we're going to need here. And you know, you'll have to decide as we get along if we sit there and we need to add some bling to this or not. Got a couple of things as possibilities. I've got the heart already that I was going to put in the middle, and I used silver, right? It was either the choice or I wanted to use gold or silver. I decided to just go ahead and go with silver. It really wasn't particularly. I just wanted to have a nice little heart that you'd be able to see and let it stand out on this lifesaver. Life ring. Alright, so I also have some little green of grass here that I wanted to add here. And this is just all die cut out. For me, it could also be, gosh, it reminds me also of a frog. Just saying. It's really grass, but I could make it into some frog fingers, right? And I'm just going to add it right here. I just want a little greenery. When we were on the splash pad, we didn't have any greenery because we hadn't had any rain. So I wanted some just around here. Just because I could, right? Okay. Alright, so we have some more hearts we can add. Now actually, these are just little water drops. So this is going to take a little bit more time than you think. Because, right, it's all about splashing water here and there. And we did. We splashed water here and there and beyond. So that's what it's about. Just splashing some of that water around. So this takes a little bit more time. And we're putting on layers. And, you know, it's just stepping it up. Alright? You know, they're water spots. So you can put them anywhere you want to put them. On the umbrella, we're going to put a heart on the umbrella. And this special peep, I already know, like some, because this one sat there and actually decorated a phone design on their tablet and sent it to me. And I thought I was supposed to be buying it, I'm sure. And they put a heart on it. So I know this particular peep is going to like hearts. And I'm just going to use this glue. It just needs a dab, right? I don't need a whole lot. And I just get glue all over my fingers, and that's okay too. Alright, because it's just small little hearts, so I just need I can actually use the other glue too. We have the one that's got the real thin piece on it. Now, it'll be up to you to decide if I should add some pearls to this or not, because I was thinking I could add some little dainty pearls on each of the umbrella, and I'll show you what they look like. They're real tiny. They're just like little tiny pearls, and I thought I could add them right on each of those points. So if you have an opinion about that, let me know, and I can see about adding these little pearls. And I could even add pearls somewhere else. I could even add them to the end down here if I wanted to. Alright, so just let me know what you think about the idea of adding some pearls. Meanwhile, I'm going to add a little bit more water drops while you let me know that. And I might even throw some more hearts in there, some little bitty hearts. But we'll see. Alright, because you can see this is really, really tiny. Okay, so it doesn't take much. Just as easy to do it that way, right? So really, it's just for basically here, the time-consuming part is just adding these little details. But, you know, it's the details. It's the small details that make everything so special. Right? So, yes, I did. I just licked my finger. In case you didn't see that, I licked my finger to get that up. That's too funny. But, hey, you know what you do, you what you have to do. So I have more than I could add. So does anybody have any feelings one way or the other about adding pearls to this? I mean, I could easily add more grass too if I wanted. And just lap it over. Make it a little bit more there. Fill it on out. I'll just go ahead and fill out the grass. It's sort of nice just to... Maybe you are fortunate enough to have green grass. I barely can find green grass in my yard. I've got a lot of brown grass, but hey, this rain that we got may make all the difference. And I'm okay, I'm okay with this hanging over, right? Because why? Because we got that other piece going underneath. So if you want to see how this is going to end up, it feels like my sticky part is, it's okay. It's like it's on the edge there. It's not really like there. It's like just like hanging on the edge there. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. All right, so I guess still have to color my hippo, right? I can still add some more waters. I can add even a couple of hearts thrown in there if I want to. Sort of like we just got floating hearts. And I think I'm going to throw some pearls in there. Nobody said anything one way or the other. So I'm just going to have a free-for-all. I find these little hearts here. Yep, licking your fingers still works to try to get some stuff up. Just make sure they were clean before you did that. Alright, I'm just going to throw some little hearts up in the air because I can. Alright? Okay, so let's go ahead and get this colored. We can make a decision if we want to do anything else. So I'm just going to pull this off here a second. I was just trying to see how it looks, see if I want to add anything else. I'm just going to quickly color this in. Get my blending pen as I wait to see if I get any feedback whatsoever about the pearls. Otherwise, no feedback. I'm going to go for the pearls. You know, I did think about coloring the eyes. And I could go back and do that Pacific Point. It's just a deep, dark, pretty blue. No, there's nothing to say the hippo can't have some pretty blue eyes, right? So I'm thinking. Let's get this hippo colored in so we can be done. And we can see how we finish for the day here. So yeah, so anytime you're going to color, it's going to take a little bit more time, right? So if we try to keep, doing things in 30 minutes, that'll work. But then you're going to have to keep in mind if you go and add layers, like we did right now, we add all the other stuff, it takes time, right? But that's what makes cards so special. And one of a kind, right? It's not like you go out and mass produce these or anything. It makes them one of a kind. I'm going to worry about the stomach later, alright? Go ahead and get this on. And I'm just going to put it on with dimensionals as well. I might have to color that belly before we go. We'll see. I want to get those pearls on there first of all. That's the main thing. So I'm just adding pearls. Just gives a little extra something. Oh, it says, has it got new comments here? Let's see if I got comments and didn't realize it. Okay, pearls. Pearls it is, Ashley. Thank you. I am going to put those pearls on here. Okay, now this one I got over just a little bit too much. See if I can pull it over. If not, I'll just cut it off. Okay, got it. Alright. Okay. So, the other thing is always, too, is if, something's like you said, it's got too much white. Some people really like to cover all their space with color. I don't. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. If you wanted to, you could take the sponge and go around the edges here. And that would be cool, too. We still have to put our tag on here. And we'll put those pearls on there, because I want to definitely get those pearls on there, because they really look like they look great. Okay. Ashley and I are into pearls today, so I'm just going to put these little bitty pearls right here. They're not that big, just put one on each end, and they'll go really nice with that silver. There you go. So I'm going to actually take and I'm going to put one on each of these ends down here too, because I can, right? I'm adding pearls. Let's make it pearls. Oops, lost that one. Okay, they must right underneath the paper. Alright, so we just added a little pearls there, and I'm just going to add one right here in the dead center of this one. Alright, let's see here. That's where the other pearl is. It stuck to me. Cool. So it'll stick to you. Alright, let's see. This one might. I was trying to think which one that's not going to be too big, but not too small. I'm just trying to put one right in the center. Let's see. You know, yeah, the girls are. They like their bling. They like their bling. Bling, bling, bling. The more bling, the happier. I can tell you that because bling does not last in my household very long at all. People end up usually taking it home. So there we go. We just sort of blinged it up. We could put a little bling right there in the heart too if we wanted to. Just depends on what you want to do. So you could just as easily do that too. Alright, so we've got... we did have a pearl there. It stuck to me more than it did there. Okay. So there we go. We've added our pearls, and that's all we are lacking is the tag. So the tag that I planned on using on this one is, it's on my stamp set here. We have two choices. I put all you're really are the best, or the other one was you're so hip. You're so hip. I think I put all you're really the best, because we really like deck this out. And this one, I actually punched this out. I punched this out here so we could just put it down here at the bottom. I might have to trim it, I don't know. And then I'm going to put this right on top of it, and this should fit right there. I sort of eyeballed it to see. And then then we've got our message that we want for our person. If this doesn't fit, then we'll just flip it over and we'll stamp the other one on the other side. But when I tested it out earlier, it looked like it was going to fit. It looked like it fit just fine. Now I'm going to actually do this in a basic gray. I could do it in the blue or the green, but I'm going to have green behind it, so I figured the basic gray will be just fine. So I'm going to do this here. I'm just stamping in the center, right? See, and it fits. Whoop, whoop. I like it. Alright, that's what I like, is when it fits the way I want it to fit. And then for me, it's just a matter of, right, we're just going to put this on here. And yes, you can put it on dimensionals. Dimensionals aren't necessary, but we could. I'm just going to use the tape right here. Now the only thing is when I go to put this other piece on, you're going to find that we're dealing with different heights, right? So we're going to have to take that into consideration. See here at the bottom it's going to be a little bit lower, so all I'm going to do is put a dimensional right there, and that'll hold it in place and give me the balance that I'm looking for. And then we can sit there. In fact, I'm just going to put it right there, okay? And then up here at the top, I'm just going to put some tape across the top that'll hold it in place up there. Go ahead and take this off, and we're just going to put it like this here. Goes right there with our green, our grass, got our heart. And the thing is, we do have extra pearls. Pearls aren't going to show up here, but let's see, if I have a tiny heart still left, I can still put a tiny heart here, right? And that'll work. So there you go. We will have our simple. And you see why this one stepped up so much, because it just has a lot more involved with it, right? And you could easily put a pearl in that as well too. So let's see what we got here for today. I'll just remove this all of the way for us, because I got another silver heart that I could add on here if I wanted. So I have this here one that we stepped up, and that we did it with layers, and we did it with all the little embellishment and bling and so forth and all, right? This one here, we stepped up from the previous one because we added this here, we added some embellishments, and we added some more stuff here. And then here's our very simple one here, where we just simply stamped, did a little watercolor, and we added a little bow. So with that, I hope you enjoyed that. You know, it's all about creating together and sharing and just having fun, right? And then giving it to somebody. That's the important part, giving it to somebody. So be sure to share this. If you enjoyed it, be sure to share it on Facebook, also on YouTube. We'll have the video up later. And then also we're on Pinterest and Instagram. So if you're not following us, come check us out and see about following us. We'd appreciate that. All right. So be blessed, Have a wonderful week and a wonderful weekend, and we look forward to seeing you next week, because it's all about what? Creating, sharing, and giving. So go create. Be sure to give it. All right? See you next week. Bye.